Oh my god. Oh, it's the best alert. Okay, it cut off for some reason. Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome. Thank you, Rasky, for the raid. Welcome to Tomb Raider Legend. You guys love Tomb Raider Legend? I love Tomb Raider Legend. It's actually one of the first Tomb Raider games I finished, I think. I think it might be the first one I ever finished. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
That is so many people. Jesus. Hello.
We are so excited.
My god.
No
Yeah.
picture.
It's time for some Tomb Raider Legend. Lots of action in this game compared to the rest of the trilogy, I'd say. Also lots of glitches and bugs that we're gonna use to try and finish the game as fast as possible. Now, before we get into the run, I thought it would be probably a better idea to show you the glitches, because the run starts off pretty strong. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna load one save and show you basically all the tricks, glitches and bugs you can do. Now if you watch the anniversary run from yesterday, which was the very first one for the pre-show, it's basically the same glitches. The movement is a bit different. We move slightly differently in this game. It's faster to just front roll for the entire game. We're just gonna be front rolling like this. But we do have the same kind of glitches like airwalking. If you get this animation with any kind of ledge, this animation, this one right there, and you pull out your guns just before grabbing that ledge, you can basically float in the air and airwalk, which is what it's called.
Blows my
Completely
mind.
broken.
That is so funny.
Yes, and we're gonna use all of this for basically the entire run. This is the main glitch. There's also another thing called left rolling. It doesn't work with right rolling, so that's the reason why we call it left rolling. And for some reason, with like some collisions in the game, I guess, are not very well done. It doesn't work everywhere, but if we were to use this wall and just left roll against it, you get zipped all the way up there. So we're gonna see this during the entire run as well.
I'm so shocked it happened like that.
I know, it is
In like
very
a half
shocking.
second.
It does not look natural. It just happens. You just get teleported up there like this. One glitch I should mention, actually, it's called bug jumping. We're not gonna do it in this run. The any percent category is split into two categories. There's no bug jump and bug jump, and because bug jumping is kind of hard to learn, it's not very new runner friendly, and it requires a lot of inputs in a row again and again and again. It has its own category, so we won't be seeing this glitch, but just so you guys can see, this game is broken. You can jump again and again and again and gain a lot of height. Now,
Wow,
I didn't know you could get there, but it's very interesting. And the last glitch is called fall damage cancelling. Now, normally I would have died from this fall, but if you switch your weapons and grapple right before touching the ground, you basically cancel the fall damage. As you can see,
That's
like
awesome.
this, whoop, she just gets teleported to the ground and avoids all the fall damage. And that's pretty much all the glitches, I think.
That just opens up the game in a totally different way.
Yes, this is gonna be totally different. And now the question is, like, using all of these glitches, bugs, and our knowledge of the game, how much can we cut, and how long, like how short can a run be? And to do that, what is that alert? Let me see. Oh my god, thank you for the sub. Oh my god, thank you for the sub, Lucas. Now, with that knowledge of the game, glitches and bugs, we're gonna see how short the run can be. And for that, I have two commentators, Dragon and Darkspots. Hello, guys.
Hello. How's it going, everyone?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
They're gonna be
morning or night, afternoon, I don't know.
yes,
Time is relative.
good afternoon for the French people like me.
Oh, you're French.
Yes.
Yeah, bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Ça
So,
va et toi?
je vais très bien. Ah, mais oui, oui. You're French as well. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I am.
Nice.
It's hard to place Hetty's accent. His when he speaks in English, his voice is like
I'm
kind of
anything
British.
but French when I speak English,
Kind
basically.
of, yeah.
Thank you for the sub, Cat. So we're gonna jump into the run pretty soon.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into the run right now. It starts off pretty strong. So the guys that I have with me, Darkspace and Dragon, they're gonna be doing the main commentary. I'll try to add some stuff here and there just to complete the commentary, but you'll hear them mainly when I'm trying to focus, because there's some stuff where I need to
I
mainly
love that.
focus.
It's like a professional sports event where
Yeah.
you have your own commenters.
Let's try to get the best run as possible with the best commentary as possible. I hope it goes well. I hope you enjoy it. I think it's a very interesting speedrun to watch, and let's just jump into it.
Awesome.
Alright, so the timer starts when he skips the first cutscene, and then he's
And I
going to
did
get an
forget
airwalk.
to switch my
Yeah.
controls.
Oh,
My
yeah,
god.
the controls.
I did
Yeah,
forget to switch
so-
my controls.
Hey, Brian, you
Because
should
he was
switch your
showing off
controls.
bug jumping, he used a different control scheme to make it easier to bug
Yeah.
jump. And so now he's switching back because his other control scheme is, a lot better for the normal run.
Yeah, we're just gonna pretend this run never happened, which it did.
Of course, it never happens. It never
Yes.
happens.
We didn't see anything.
And now we're going for it again. Let's go.
Good luck.
Alright, so airwalk right away. He's gonna gain a little bit of height on this rock, and then he's gonna perform a left roll, which is very natural. And then he's gonna use this definitely three-dimensional vine here to get an airwalk on this rock, and he just skipped like half of the beginning segment, I guess. And now he's just going to gain a bunch of height using the airwalk, because you can use the geometry around you when you do have an airwalk to either gain or lose height. And he's just gonna do another left roll here, just very casual. And that left roll is actually insanely precise. Like it almost feels random sometimes. It's
Now we
very
did gain
difficult.
a little bit of height here, and it's to go over a cutscene trigger. There's normally a cutscene that would play there, but we gained a little bit of height, so we can basically skip that cutscene. And also, it's the perfect height to go through that temple and load the next
Yes,
area.
and he just
Oh
hit
my.
a loading trigger there, because normally if you go like to the side a little bit and then you enter this area, you wouldn't be able to see anything here, and there would also be like basically no collision.
Yeah.
He just hit another loading trigger there by going slightly inbounds. And
Kinda
he's
hard
gonna
there,
get
look, but we should be fine.
Yep, he just got another airwalk a little bit
This is the
lower,
hard
so
part.
he can load this area, which skips a forced cutscene that you cannot skip even after entering it. And this is also one of the harder ones to get.
It's just
Another
so easy.
loading trigger and skips a QTE basically. Now he's
Yeah.
just gonna airwalk across this area, which would normally be like a
Thank you, Bob, for the sound
kind of a
effect.
platforming puzzle under there.
And now we're gonna enter the final fight of this level, at least, that we have to deal with. We have to kill everyone. We
And
want
we
to
have a
progress
very
to the next level.
lovely, we have a very lovely fixed camera here for this bridge.
Easy. Just a bit of a hard jump. You can sometimes
Yeah.
miss it. You have to fight with the camera, because normally the camera is fixed. The game forces you to like reset the camera, basically. If you manage
Yeah.
to move your mouse progressively, you can make that jump and it skips a slower animation. It's actually a pretty good Bolivia. Damn.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, except I missed the cutscene skip, but we
Yeah.
won't talk about it. That's pretty much Bolivia.
That
It
was
can
pretty
still
decent,
PB.
yeah.
I'm blown away.
Very short Bolivia.
So, there's
Whoops.
Tell
me, Dark Spots. That was a left roll, by the way. So as you can
Yeah,
see,
it
left rolls
was.
are
This-
completely broken in this game. You can just
yeah.
go up the
so,
roof like this.
Yeah, we pretty much skipped most of the first part before the motorbike section, but we are going to get a grenade from one of the mercenaries, because it will be used later on.
Yes, I did
in the
have
level.
to. I did have to kick this guy at the end. It was on purpose. Getting some ammo and a grenade. We're gonna use it later for a puzzle, actually. Now we're entering the best part, which is the motorbike section. Because it has some cool music. Very cool music.
Yeah, this game actually has really good music, which
Yeah.
is one of the highlights, I think.
There's always this question that I ask usually the chat, like which music is the best out of the two motorbike sections, either the Peru one or the Kazakhstan one. I usually say Kazakhstan, is my favorite one. I don't know about the others. What would you say, Dragon? What's your favorite?
For me, it really just depends on my mood. I think. Like I like both of them. Also, I don't know if we mentioned, but thank you, Crystal Dynamics, for the bits.
Oh,
Very much appreciated.
yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for
Yeah.
showing off the skills.
So, yeah, go for it, Dogspots.
Sure. So yeah, this the bike sections in general have a lot of RNG. They are basically places in the speedrun where you can either gain some time or lose a lot of it. So
Yeah.
basically what happens here is the sections loop until you kill all of the enemies. So what can happen is if you maybe kill the enemies like at the start of a cycle, then it means you basically lose up to 6 seconds. So it can be a bit of RNG depending on how it goes. And
Yeah.
you know,
Basically, if you're too slow killing people, the area will just loops itself, and the area loops for Peru are basically 6 seconds, something like this. I'm not sure about Kazakhstan, but so you have to be quick killing enemies, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there's also explosive barrels that can spawn, and that is also RNG.
Yeah, there is one
It's
fuel
definitely
tank.
not in your control. You just gotta hope for the best.
Yeah, there is one fuel tank that is supposed to spawn in a few seconds, and if it's not there, it's gonna lose us a bit of time. And it's not here, so unfortunate.
Ooh.
In some cases, I would reset for this, but obviously we can't. Just gonna go with it. It's gonna lose us a bit of time. With a bit of luck, some of them can crash into each other, and some bad luck,
oh, that's
this can
amazing.
happen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So obviously the explosive barrels help you clear out enemies basically instantaneously, like an entire wave of them,
Yeah.
if you time it just right.
Oh,
Oh, there's one.
well, that's
Ooh.
quite nice. That's 3 at the same time.
Yeah,
you can
that's a little
basically
bit of a
blow,
backup.
You can basically blow up the barrels in your face on easy difficulty, and nothing will happen. I mean, you lose a bit of health, but it's
Yeah,
basically nothing.
easy difficulty is pretty nice with you. You take like no damage from enemies, even fuel tanks. The boss fight is pretty easy, I'd say. The final boss, like the
Oh.
very final one.
How do you factor that in? Difficulty levels? Like, do people agree on are the speedruns per difficulty level, or I guess,
There's
do they not matter as much because you skip a lot of the sections regardless?
for the leaderboards, there's just I think there's just a column that says on which difficulty you played, but it doesn't really matter if you play on hard or easy. Everybody goes on the same leaderboard. I think that was your question.
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't really affect
Yeah.
it because of the way you're playing anyway.
Yep. So flashback section. This is a pretty short one. We don't have anything like guns or grenades or whatever, but we do have flares, which can also be used to airwalk. But the main downside with these flares is that they run out automatically. Like Lara just like chucks them away at one point. So you have to be quick about your airwalks, or you have to probably do them again.
Yes, your airwalk only lasts for a few seconds because afterwards Lara is going to toss the flare away and she will lose the airwalk. So if you time it just right, you can still get like a jump out of it, but if you don't, then she just drops down, and that's that.
Yeah.
And here we have a chase sequence where the camera is fixed, but we are going to have to do an airwalk to skip a little bit of platforming. And luckily we do have a sequence for it, but trying to do this blindly without a sequence is kind of brutal, because the controls are not exactly what you would expect a lot of the time because of the camera. But
Yeah.
luckily we do have the sequence, and BryNu nailed it, obviously.
Wow. I'm so
And-
impressed right now.
And that's the end of Flashback.
The same way as the
It
water.
was a
Yep.
very short
I
flashback.
get a call from Anaya. Patch it through
Yeah.
straight away.
Now it's gonna be a little bit of a swimming section, nothing really happening. There is a puzzle afterward, and that's where we're gonna use our grenade. I'm sure Darkspots will explain a bit more about that grenade in this puzzle.
Yes, so, yeah, I guess I'll explain it right now. There's really not much going on at the moment in terms of tricks. So, after the swimming section, there's a puzzle where you have to put 3 separate boulders or balls, I guess,
Yeah.
on 3 separate pressure plates. So, 2 of them can be accessed quite easily, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the third one is really high up. But we can use the grenade that we picked up before the start of the motorbike section in order to precisely throw it at the ball, and then and it's actually done during a fake cutscene. So a cutscene is playing, but you can kind of control Lara during it if you put the 2 boulders on the pressure plates at a specific
Specific
how do you say?
order, yeah.
A specific order, yeah. And we will see it shortly.
Also here we just skipped the QTE, just, you know, as you do. And also, a second ago you might have noticed that even though we had a pretty long swimming section, BryNu didn't really go to the surface of the water to gain air. That's, again, the easy difficulty coming in clutch. You don't really take a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
And here we're gonna see the skip.
Oh my.
That
So
should
yeah,
work.
this
Perfect.
is supposed to be a cutscene, and boom, the grenade explodes and falls
Yeah, so
down
you can
perfectly.
use manual aim during that cutscene because it's, as we just pointed out, it's a fake cutscene.
Yeah, you
so
can even
use
move
manual aim.
around and stuff. You can do everything, so you can also throw a grenade, and that grenade we use it to get the third boulder to come down, pretty much.
Yeah, but we do use a specific visual cue there for the grenade toss because even though you can use manual aim, you do not actually see your crosshair during that fake cutscene.
Yes.
Look at the finale walk there. Now we just have to backtrack all the way back to
Just let me know if our mercenary friends get any closer.
the surface, basically.
Mm,
Before we can reach Japan.
Yeah, basically ignore every enemy here, except the last ones. We do have to kill them in order to trigger the next level.
Yeah, we're making our way back to see Lara's friend, who we didn't even get to meet because we completely skipped that section, but that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sure
poor
she
Naya.
can. I'm sure
Just
she can forgive
waiting.
us.
Now again, this enemy we can just ignore. They don't really matter.
Yeah, you can roll into the enemy to kind of knock them over, and that will cause them to get stunned for a second, and they will start shooting at you a little bit slower. And this helps us because if we don't do this, there's a chance that he can shoot you off of the rope and then you fall down, and that loses some time.
Oh, yeah.
And here is basically the final fighting section for the level. It's similar to Bolivia, actually. Just kill all the enemies, trigger the cutscene, and move on.
Yeah, an interesting thing to mention, if you play this game on VSync off and have like really high frame rate, sometimes when the enemies like chuck grenades at you, as soon as the grenade like leaves their hands, they just automatically die. It didn't happen here,
Oh, what?
but it can happen. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. They just like throw the grenade and then drop dead immediately.
Yeah, it
That's
is
sad.
actually a little bit common. Like, we didn't get to see it here, really, but it is pretty common to have, and it's always funny.
Yeah, this might
Also
happen in
saves a
England,
little bit of
actually.
time.
Ever
Yeah.
predictable.
Yeah, sometimes
I mean, we don't-
enemies kill themselves in England this way, so maybe we'll see that later during England. But yeah, this is Japan. And there's this little fight
Thank you.
where we only have pistols. I'll have to pick up some stuff on the way that we're gonna use later for the boss in Japan.
Yep.
I'm gonna need a few grenades and an assault rifle. And I'm gonna need to not do that.
Yes, and here BryNu's gonna kill the enemies in a specific order to make these 2 enemies spawn in at a specific time, because if you do this section in a perfect sequence, then you can skip 2 extra enemies who would spawn afterwards. And if you can skip that, then you can just kill all the enemies that you saw right there, and that triggers the cutscene early.
Yep.
And now we're making our way to the roof, and from here on, it's basically just a quest to get to the boss. We're just gonna do some very old-fashioned platforming, and definitely not going to go across streets flying in the air.
Just in case, I'm going all the way around because there's supposed to be a cutscene trigger, but we're completely skipping it just by going around. It saves like around a second.
Yeah, normally there would be a flyby here that shows you that there are some enemies walking around, and then you would have to either fight them or just brute force your way and go past them, but
This is
you don't
where
really have to do that if you skip it.
This is where the assault rifle comes into play.
Yeah, so normally it would be really hard, or well, basically impossible to shoot those little thingies down with pistols because they don't reach as far, or they're not as accurate.
By the way, we don't
But
really open doors in this game. We're just back and spring into them because part of Lara goes through the door. The game thinks we're already outside, so it just triggers the cutscene. It's a bit faster than just opening the door. We're gonna do that multiple times during the run. We're gonna do it at the end of Japan with an elevator.
With the elevator, yeah.
Yes. So this place, you're supposed to call these like advertisement. But you can also shoot them. So we have one.
You're lagging
Darkspots is a little laggy, unfortunately, but what he was trying to say is, normally you're supposed to grapple these advertising platforms down, but you can also use your guns to push them, basically, because, you know, there's actually some neat stuff with physics in this game. It's not as restricted as you might think.
Yep. Is my voice back to normal now?
Seems fine,
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
seems
awesome.
Now we're gonna pick up that shotgun because we're gonna... excuse me. We're gonna use it for the Japan boss, Takamoto.
Yes.
So
we
you're,
also
you're
just,
supposed to use that dragon to break the glass there, but you can just throw a grenade and it works. Way better. It's way faster. Now I'm gonna
And
need
here
a
we're
fourth
going-
grenade. Just like this. And we're gonna back and spring into the elevator, which just triggers the elevator. You're supposed to kill everybody in that room, by the way, before you can call the elevator. But because we back and spring into it, and again, part of Lara goes through it, the game thinks we're already in. So it just triggers the cutscene.
Yes, and here we're going to abuse the insanely powerful grenade damage that you can use against human bosses, specifically, and also against Takamoto. Grappling also works to stun him. This would not work against the next level's boss, but grenades still do a lot of damage to him, so we are going to use that. And that was a pretty fast Takamoto.
That was okay. Grenade missed, but...
Pretty fast.
Yeah, one of them did miss, so it was not optimal, but it was pretty close.
Oh, that seems pretty ridiculously quick to me. That was impressive.
Just
Yeah,
like
even,
Peru.
even like this, it was fast.
Now, just like Peru, we did the... Wait, Peru? I mean Bolivia. Just like Bolivia, we gained a little bit of height because there's a cutscene that's supposed to play, but we're going just over it. And we're
This
basically...
is seeing the game a whole new way. This is so crazy.
We are skipping the entire game right now.
Are you?
The entirety of Ghana has been skipped, basically.
Yeah,
Wow.
this skips so much. Like Ghana is basically the most cut level, if you will.
Like, we
You
were...
just skip so much of it.
we were supposed to... like, swan dive down there and do some puzzle to open the waterfall, but we don't have to do this because we can just go to the end of the level, basically.
Also, a fun
Yes.
little fact here, that bridge that you see being torn or broken down would normally be completely fine until enemies chuck grenades at it that would destroy it. But because we're playing on VSync off, the bridge for some reason is already destroyed. That just happens on high FPS specifically.
There's the
Yes.
final boss.
So yeah, Rutland, very easy. As soon as he starts jumping down, we just chuck grenades. He gets locked in a stun, and he's dead.
Oh wow.
This is basically the fastest boss fight in Tomb Raider Legend and maybe in Tomb Raider history. I'm not sure. And yeah, it's largely due to the grenade damage, because normally if you play the boss fight just by using your guns, Rutland would eventually go up to those structures and heal himself, but if you just kill him in a matter of seconds, he has absolutely no chance of doing that. And here BryNu is going to do a pretty scary fall damage cancel, but it's very important.
Oh.
He gained
Oh
a
my
checkpoint
God.
here, which actually spawns some enemies, and you need to spawn these enemies because you can only progress through the level after killing 2 of them at least, which was going to open this gate over here that will lead you straight to a motorcycle section.
Yes, so another bike section. This one is much longer than the Peru one, but like I mentioned,
Yeah, enemies are very smart in this game.
yes, like I mentioned earlier during the Peru bike section, is that these sections can make or break your speedrun, and yeah.
This one is the most important one. This one can go up to 5 minutes, and you can save up to a minute really if you do it well, depending on how enemies are gonna behave and how much stuff you're gonna miss, basically.
Basically, I have a question. Can you see how you said that there were no explosive barrel in Peru, yeah?
Yep.
So basically, it means you lost a few seconds, yeah? Would that mean
that's
this
it.
section could make up for it, yeah? Would it mean that it's possible to make up for it?
Yeah, it is definitely possible to make up for it. I guess it depends what kind of Kazakhstan motorbike section you got in your personal best, but yeah, you could lose a bit of time in Peru, the Peru motorbike section, and still make it up during this one.
Okay, so it's not a killer run, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
that was
one
actually
thing
a pretty good start. Yeah, go for it, Dragon.
Yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned actually is there is a very specific thing in these motorbike sections that can also save quite a few seconds that a lot of people didn't know about for a very long time, and that is it is actually better to not hold left click against the enemies. Now, that's what you would do instinctively, right? Because, well, you shoot faster, you're gonna kill them faster, right? But actually, if you just hold left click, Lara is going to miss a lot of shots. Now, what you can do to get an optimal timing for accurate shots is look at the targeter that moves around as you shoot enemies, basically. And each time the circle basically retracts and gets a little bit smaller again, that's when you want to keep shooting. So it's actually kind of a specific rhythm to shoot in an optimal way, and that helps you shave off a few seconds because you can kill enemies faster.
Yeah, if you hold left click, Lara is very unprecise, like bullets won't go straight all the time. So you want to make sure you just time your shots, basically. If you're that close, you can just hold it, for example. She will not miss.
Obviously.
But if you're very far away, it's just better to time your shots.
Yeah, and it's like, just try to imagine it like every second or every half a second you click instead of holding it. It's not that hard, but it's just like a little hidden thing that we didn't know about for a very long time.
See why this is such a, I mean, even though like people are competing against their own scores or each other, it's such a collaborative thing, because somebody discovers a new technique or a new little tip or trick and shares it, and then everybody gets to try their runs over. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's such a... also, the Tomb Raider community is such a cool community. We even have a Discord and stuff. I'll make sure to link it. You know, if anybody ever like thought of speedrunning, you know, like definitely give it a try. It's hit or miss, really. You either like it or don't. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to link the community Discord that we have for the Tomb Raider runners. at the end of this run.
Awesome.
Now there's a few jeeps that we need to get rid of, and those two guys
Also-
kill themselves. That is very fun.
Yeah, that is actually very rare for them to just
Yes.
crash like that. So that's interesting.
This was not that bad actually. This motorbike section was okay, I would say.
Yeah. What usually happens is like the jeeps and the motorbikes too. They just kind of like phase through like stuff. But like yeah, here they just smashed into each other and then they killed themselves. So
Yeah, jeeps can go through mountains, cliffs, like it's nothing.
I suppose that's one of the least strange things that's happened in these speedruns.
Yeah.
That's right. And here we're actually going to experience our very first QTE of the run because we skipped all the other ones.
I'm saving
Which
time
is-
against my PB. This is great.
That is amazing.
This is how bad my
Also-
motorbike is.
Also, this is like pretty wild to think about, right? We're basically through half of the game, and this is the very first QTE that we experience because we skip all the other ones.
This one is coolest in my opinion. I loved it when I was a kid.
Oh god, when you were a kid.
It has some very cool cinematic shots and creative like choreography, I guess.
Yeah. This game has so much like action movie vibes. I really like
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
It really did.
Even with the music that you got to hear during the motorbike sections.
The opening segment was so James Bondish, you know, it was obviously like very inspired by action movies and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And here we just casually went over an invisible wall that was trying to prevent us from jumping over the train.
Ah, excuse me.
oh,
And now we're going to make our way through this underground lab or facility, if you will.
Yeah, there's no way to go around this intersection apparently, or if there's one, we didn't discover it yet. So we have to go through this ventilation system for now.
yep. So yeah, since it's pretty linear here, there's not really much going on, you know, speedrun tricks wise and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're just slightly abusing the power of VSync off swan dives because there's actually a little bit of a small
Found the emergency power.
thing with swan dives and slopes when you have higher FPS.
Uh-oh.
Basically, Lara just, instead of rolling down slopes when you swan dive, she kind of teleports a little bit as well and then rolls down. So you can get some extra distance, and the greater your FPS, the greater the distance you will gain out of this. And this also works in Anniversary, by the way, the next game in the trilogy.
Yeah. So now we're just heading over to the boss arena, I guess.
Yeah, and once
Um,
again, BryNu used the backhand spring to trigger checkpoints that we normally wouldn't get to until we open those doors.
Stay out of its way, Lara. I don't control it.
Yeah, just remember that there's a door and there's like a checkpoint behind it. Most of the time you can just back in spring into it and the game will think you're already on the other side. And in this case, the game thinks we're already on the other side, so it just opens the door for us. You're supposed to do a puzzle to open the door, but because you just back in spring into it, the door opens by itself. So now this is the boss fight. There's not really that much to it. We have to do it to progress, and we're just going to do it the intended way, which is to pull 4 levers, which brings up those things.
Tesla coils, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, this boss fight is not really a fight, it's more like a puzzle. You bring these down and then you create, you use this gun here to create like a electric force field, and it's going to disable this barrier here that keeps you from reaching the sword fragment that we came for. But once you disable the barrier, you just grapple it, and that's the end of the level.
Either housekeeping should be
Guys, I have a question from TR25. I actually think it's a really good question as well. She's asking, well, you guys are playing with VSync off, yeah? She's
Yes.
asking what's the benefit with playing with VSync off. Is it because it causes the physics to be crazy, or is it something else?
Alright, so for VSync off, we actually have a trick that's only possible with VSync off at the end of Nepal that I'll get to show off to you. And also, there's this thing, when there's slopes in this game and you swan dive into them, the more FPS you get, the more of a boost you can get into that slope. You can you get kind of pushed down the slope, the higher FPS you get. So it's nice to play with VSync off, really. It saves
Yeah,
you.
this is the trick I mentioned in Kazakhstan. But you do have to be careful though, because when you have VSync off, you do take more damage from some damage sources that are constant. So let's say like fire or poisonous water or gas, you take way more damage when you have VSync off. So you have to be careful with those.
Yes, and also, as you saw bug jumps, like during the start of the, or before BryNu started the run, they are also best done on VSync off and like over 100 FPS. If slower, then it might not work. Or it, like might not work, but it doesn't work in general.
Certainly hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of does, but it's a lot more restricted and not really that fast.
A lot of stuff just happened right now. I don't know if you guys can explain it, but we
Yeah,
skipped half of
basically-
England.
Yeah, so BryNu went out of bounds, then from out of bounds, he went a little bit back in bounds again just to load this area, and then he basically went back inbounds completely this time, and he touched the back end of that door again with a back handspring to gain a checkpoint that you would normally only get after beating the boss of this level, because after you beat the boss of this level, you backtrack to this section of the level, and instead of having to go to the boss and then beat the boss and then backtrack, we just go to the beginning of the backtracking section, or you know, that checkpoint specifically, and that just skips like a whole bunch of the level.
Yep.
And that's
Yes,
End of
already
England.
Wow.
that's England done.
2 minutes and 39 seconds? I just saw it. That's so crazy.
So yeah, Nepal. Also pretty short level. Just get an airwalk and then use the big mountains to gain height. We skipped the entire climbing section, and we also skipped the plane section. Where
That I
where-
missed England.
where there's a QTE and yeah. So yeah, we also get an airwalk here because we're gonna need to do a pretty big fall damage cancel. It's a bit blind in terms of we will be falling through textures, so we kind of have to like
My
Pressure down.
anxiety is through the roof just seeing all of this. Oh my god.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a feel to hit the fall damage cancel correctly.
And once again, this skipped a QTE and an entire puzzle section. And some platforming, so very big skip right there. And here we're just going to move past this area out of bounds to avoid fighting and a little bit of platforming. And we're already getting close to the end of the level, guys.
And this
We're
is
also
where.
moving past some secrets, which is very unfortunate that we're
Yeah.
not picking them up.
Want me to pick them up? Can if you want.
I do, but I don't think it's gonna go.
There's no
I don't
time.
think it's gonna. Yeah.
And this is where the skip with Visinkov that I was talking about comes into play. Oh, this might be bad. Yeah, this is just bad. Okay, I'll
Yep.
do it again, but it's fine. Camera kind of messed it up.
Ooh, nice try.
It's a very it's a trick that is very hard to explain.
I'm gonna miss it again.
Yep.
Ouch.
So
Hey, you
maybe
can try to get into the explanation while he's going.
basically we go out of bounds, then we do a backhand spring against a collision. The game thinks we're still in bounds, or the game puts us up here, but we're actually still down in the thing, kind of. I don't know.
This is incredibly trippy, even if you do know this area. But if you
Yeah.
don't know, it's like
Yeah, I still don't know
It's very
exactly how
hard to
this trick
understand.
works, but
yeah, same. Totally same. I just can't fathom the. I don't know.
we went through the monastery basically and skipped a bunch of cutscene because it's way faster. We don't like doing the game normally. We like just skipping everything and going to the final boss.
Yes.
Bruh, I would literally just finish the first level in 33 minutes and 40 seconds. I would literally just finish Bolivia and then, oh, I just reached Peru, and you'll just DM me like, oh yeah, I just finished the game.
Yep.
This game is very fun when you speedrun it. This final
It was
boss,
very fun.
I don't know about this final boss, if it's very fun. It's very RNG heavy. If you guys can explain it.
Yeah, first things first, we had to do a little fight section there, which is, you know, kind of reminds us of the first level, which, I mean, this is the first level, except later. It's called Bolivia Redux. And now we're fighting the creature from Kazakhstan, who we actually saw for the first time in the flashback of Peru. And the basic concept of the boss is pretty simple. You just swing the Excalibur to stun and damage the boss, and you try your best to avoid his projectiles. But unfortunately, whether or not the boss dodges your shots is mostly RNG, so it can drag the fight out quite a bit if you're unlucky.
Yeah, like this is already a terrible fight if you want
Yeah, like the creature just, you know, like dips
Can I
out of
just
the way,
say,
and you
This
can't.
very last pixel of HP when you attack Amanda trying to regenerate her creature always teases you like, aha, you were so close, but you're gonna have to do it one more time.
Yeah, that was pretty
Always does
evil
it.
from the developers.
It was very evil, it was, but I can respect that.
and there's the final hit to
And
finish it
that's
off.
There it is. Wow, GG.
GG.
Awesome.
And that's Tomb Raider Legend in 35 minutes and 27 seconds.
Pretty incredible.
That was
Hey, I
very
was a
good,
little
yeah.
bit close. So the viewers right now are not aware, but we actually did a little bit of a bet on
Yeah.
one of the servers we're on what time BryNu's going to get, and I was guessing he's gonna get like 35:10, I think. So I was pretty close.
Yeah, I guess it was but it's I said 34:59. Maybe I was a bit filling it too much. That's a nice time though. 35:27. Isn't that second place?
Definitely.
I'm
I
pretty
love
sure it
her
is, yeah.
notebook. With the stickers all over it. That's so cute.
I also pasted the Discord link.
Yeah, if you guys are ever interested
Yeah.
in joining, feel free to do
Yes.
so. Very wholesome community, always ready to answer the questions you have. If you guys are interested in speedrunning any Tomb Raider, this is the place to go.
Yeah, this server has the speedrun community for all of the Tomb Raiders.
Yes, from
basically.
Tomb Raider 1 to Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, and yeah, new members are always welcome.
I thought I would do something actually. I did show off the bug jumps at the very start, and I thought maybe I could try to show you how broken those bug jumps are. I'm gonna show you one section where if you were to do any percent bug jump, that's where you would do the biggest chain of bug jumps, I think. I'm gonna do, it's a part of Japan, I just need to change my controls real quick. I'll try at least, I don't know, maybe my hands are too cold, let me see. Japan, vertical climb, just the name sounds scary. So the way we did vertical climb in no bug jump is we can get airwalks, but the problem is that this building goes all the way straight up. We can't gain height because of the building, so we had to kind of use like the intended way to climb up all the way. But with bug jumps, it's very practical. We have 2 weapons to do so, and I think it's somewhere around here. But if we do bug jumps in a row, we can skip the entire building.
Yeah, so another thing about bug jumps is that if you have a single weapon, so let's say the pistols for example, it is possible to do multiple bug jumps in a row, but it's nearly like frame perfect. But it becomes like infinitely easier if you have two
That's
weapons.
hard. Oh my god. Yeah.
So
It's very
yeah,
easy.
I could see your hand on the webcam being like stretching itself, trying to do it as best as possible.
Yeah. The way bug jumps
Jump.
work is you have to jump, then what is it? Switch weapon and then grapple twice. And if you do that in a row again and again and again, that's how you get infinite amount of height. So
Yes.
you can get all the way up that building. I'm gonna try again, but let me just
Also,
stretch.
Dragon just redeemed Make a Weird Noise for 10,000 channel
All right,
points.
I'm gonna ignore that.
No, you have to do that.
No, I'm not. Forgot to disable the rewards before the stream. I'm sorry, guys. I'll do it for another stream, though. Don't worry.
Make a weird noise. Anything could be weird.
Yeah.
The Winston carrying tea tray.
It's for charity.
That is true.
Make a weird noise
Yeah.
for charity.
You got
Come
the right
on.
attitude.
I'm doing bug jumps for charity right now. Come on.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
got it.
Yes, there we go. We get all the way up there.
Wow.
This part isn't loaded, but if you back and spring into it somewhere, yeah, it closes the
Yes.
area, and then you can move on.
Exactly.
This is way faster than climbing the way we did it for no bug jump. But obviously you can't do it in no bug jump because it's no bug jump. And that's it. That's it for Legend.
Yeah.
Legend in 3527. I hope you enjoyed it, guys.
We did very much.
It is a very interesting run. It's very fun. It's not it's not one of the most difficult ones, I would say, when it comes to the trilogy. I think Legend is one of the easier ones. Anniversary becomes a bit more difficult. This one is pretty straightforward. So if you're ever thinking about running Tomb Raider Legend, you can give it a few days and you'll know the route and you'll be able to speedrun it. Like if you ever think about it, you know.
Also, Bonga in the chat is asking, what is your best time?
All right, the current world record right now is 33:36. Yeah, that's it. So 2 minutes faster than what we got for this run.
Yep.
That's impressive.
And keep in mind, there are obviously different categories for this game as well, and I think they're all interesting in their own way. Pretty
Yes.
fun, and basically every single category in this game is relatively short because the game itself is pretty short, so if you skip just about anything, it becomes just a whole lot shorter. So
Yeah.
Glitchless, for example, is like quite a bit shorter than Anniversary. I think it's like almost an hour shorter, maybe.
About, yeah, basically.
Yeah,
I think Legend is around 55 minutes, an hour, maybe something like that, and Anniversary is 2 hours, I guess.
Yeah, it's like 140 something, so quite a big difference.
Yeah, what makes this Legend run so long, by the way, 35 minutes, really, are the motorbike sections. If you remove just the motorbike sections, I think you remove around 8 to 9 minutes. So we would go under 30 minutes without the motorbike sections. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to skip the motorbike sections yet. If there's a way to do it, and you guys find it, feel free to tell us in the Discord. I
would
will
say we
be
can
hearing
ask
you.
the dev team, but I think you guys are probably better at finding ways around this stuff, like the dev intention, than they are. So
I'm
but
not.
I'll show these clips to them. I think they're gonna find it really fascinating.
I hope
That is actually an interesting thing about Anniversary and Legend, by the way, that the glitched run is much faster for Anniversary, but the glitchless run is a lot faster for Legend, which is quite an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Those are the splits, by the way, if you guys are interested to see. We did lose a bit of time all over the place, but that's normal. It's a marathon event, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, losing only 2 minutes to your PB isn't
Yeah, the final boss wasn't
a lot.
wasn't very good, unfortunately, with us.
Yeah, a big part of the time loss was the final boss, which is mostly RNG, so not like it's your fault.
Yeah, it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Indeed.
Yep.